I'm gonna guess that we are live. So we live. Go ahead and do this then, I guess. Guess that's what we can start off with a little bit. Make sure everything right on this end. Make sure we straight, golden. Headphones is right. Audio's up. It better be up. It don't look like it's up. Exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, zero that shit out, bro. Keep that shit like that. Or -2. Alright, whatever I had it at. There you go. -2. There you go. Perfect. It's like a perfect alignment. Every time I talk, I want to see a little bit of yellow. Just a little bit yellow. You always got to get a little bit of that. Like you don't want like yeah, yeah, bro. Maybe zero is perfect. Maybe it is perfect to just zero it out. Yeah. All right. Okay. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, but it's no excuse. And honestly, I'm not the type of guy to make excuses. So with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Black Diamond AJ, and I'm here with another episode of the Black Diamond Podcast, where today we're going to be talking about a slew of different topics. For example, you're going to give me a second to pull this right up because we have finally mastered pulling things up on the screen during recording. So with that being said, we're going to switch to this real quick because this is an old list that I had. I was supposed to talk about like a couple weeks ago, but things have been happening as always because life is life. But like I said, still no excuse. So this is what we're checking out and looking at right now. We're just gonna talk a little bit about the NFL Red Zone being purchased by ESPN, media, entertainment, music. But the music part we might end up passing up on. I'm going to be honest with you because, like I said, I just like to listen to the music on my own time. I am going to come back though with like a list of all the music that I was supposed to review because right now we are in the fourth quarter and I kind of want to really get more so into the album of the year discussion, but I guess early September is a little too early to talk about that. So right now we can just stick with I'll get y'all the review later. And then next in the tuck we have this. Seems like a light list. And then if you can see all the way at the bottom, we're going to talk about what grinds my gears. Panders, posers, the 50-50 conversation, and who cheats more, men or women. That's what this is supposed to be about. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys ended up getting that and understood what we were going to talk about today. I just want to make sure that we just have a topic list up, and eventually it will evolve over time, but a topic list up so y'all can see exactly what's being talked about. Nothing really like too fancy or whatever. Just more so y'all can get center myself. More so y'all can understand and get what I'm trying to get at. So we're gonna start off, like I said, with let me switch over for my sake. The NFL Red Zone is purchased by ESPN in exchange for the NFL owning 10% of ESPN. This is a part of the streaming wars conversation that I'm always talking about. So in case you have not, you are a new listener because I have to do this every episode. The streaming wars is basically my way of talking about how entertainment consumption has changed as a whole, especially when it comes to like television or like visual media, broadcasting, music, movies, Hollywood, video games, etc. Right? And the basis of the streaming wars is just to see the landscape of how media changes and media consumption changes over time. The tips and tricks that they do, the deals that they make behind closed doors, the algorithms that they come up with, the long-term plans that they come up with in order to shape what you want to view, how you view it, and what you pay in order to view it. This is also a topic because it's getting to the point where it's not only the NFL, but I don't know if you guys was looking at the list, but we also have the UFC had inked a 7.3, I think that says $1 billion deal with Paramount for all UFC pay-per-view events. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. Now, if I haven't talked about Paramount Plus already, I think this is the best time to talk about Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has basically been trying to see who can buy it, right? And they've been making some deals. One of them included the South Park deal with I think it's Trey Stone and Matt Parker. I don't want to confuse their names, but you know the creators of, and you know executive producers of South Park. Basically, they inked a like I think 1 point something $billion deal. It was highway robbery in my opinion. Like basically getting paid like 100 million an episode or some shit. It's insane. Or 20 million an episode. I don't know what the numbers are. That I probably should have had up, but that is insane. Added on this UFC deal that is for 7.3 billion. Basically, Paramount has pulled some moves that has I would say probably saved them a little bit and given them a little bit more time so they can try to figure out a profitable way to get this business model going for them. Because the streaming business model, it's another thing about the streaming wars, ladies and gentlemen. The streaming model, especially when it comes to streaming services like HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, Peacock, the whole nine. Everyone isn't making money off of it. Everyone isn't profitable off of it. The best example I could really name just off of my head is Disney Plus because I don't believe Disney Plus has yet to turn a profit and it's been out for 6 years. That is a little bit, I would say, disappointing on Disney's part. And the reason why I'm going to say is disappointing is because it really just seemed like it was a way just to catch all Marvel and Star Wars content in one place. That's really what it seemed like. And that really was the only thing that they had to pitch Disney Plus to be like a viable streaming service that people would watch every day. The thing is, people don't watch Marvel and Star Wars all day, every day. So what Disney is slowly, and also too the bad quality movies that they have been coming out with, Disney has also been just making like the improper decision to not really figure out what it is that they need to do to make it profitable. And they've been having trouble with that. As you can see, Paramount Plus has been having trouble with that. Netflix is, to me, one of the winners in the streaming wars. You have Netflix and you have YouTube, in my opinion. They ended up winning. Amazon just rose with the tide because the tide rose. As always, like when it comes to industries, especially when it comes to like American industries and stuff like that with competition and the free market, it's understandable that everything isn't going to, last, right? Every streaming service isn't going to stick around forever or for the duration that we have streaming as a consumption channel until they come up with a new way for us to do it. Adding on, WWE and ESPN has a deal to show all premium live events, which are basically pay-per-views, for $30. So instead of you paying the traditional 50 or 70, it's basically you paying kind of $30, I think, which would be $30 per month, which is about $360 per year, unless WrestleMania costs even more, which I would imagine it probably would, right? So just stick with me with this math here, because I know you're probably thinking in your head, okay, so now I got to pay for Paramount Plus to get my UFC. The NFL, they have RedZone on ESPN now, which is cool, but the NFL also has streaming deals with Amazon and YouTube TV where you have to pay for those every month as well. And I can tell you from paying YouTube TV before, That can get pretty expensive. It's almost as expensive as having a cable bill. But I will say, though, if you were to buy YouTube TV for, let's say, a year, and I'm not saying to go buy YouTube TV for a year. I'm not advertising at all. I'm just saying it is the bang for your buck. But whether it's the bang for the buck isn't the problem, because that is relative to how much money people have to spend for streaming services a month. Yes, you bang for your buck for what you're paying and everything that you get per year. You get basically all sports per year, and plus cable for like $50 a month, I believe. But it's like, who the fuck wants to keep paying that? You get what I'm saying? Like, at a certain point in time, these companies have to realize we understand that this is going to do nothing but increase the cost. And in the chapter of cost in the streaming wars, which brings me back to the original point, is this thing really going to be sustainable? Now, the migration of sports from cable to streaming has been immaculate. I've been calling it for the last 5 years. I've been telling my friend Zay, Six Man Zay, which hopefully he'll join the sports segment or two one of these days. I've been saying, hey, eventually what's going to happen is Hollywood has already made the transition. So now what has to happen is the sports have to make their transition. 1 second. Okay. The sports have to make their transition because, let's just say, they can see the future landscape. And in doing so, that's when the NBA had inked their $78 billion deal over 10 years. Adam Silver, which basically just increased all the contracts of the players, right? So the deals are being made. The migration started happening 5 years ago. Hollywood already made like a mass migration, and that's only because of COVID. Another thing about COVID, too, COVID has also affected the sports industry in a certain way, because people don't just pay for what they used to during COVID, or pre-COVID. The pre-COVID world and the post-COVID world, when it comes to consuming any kind of media, is entirely different. Whether it comes to movies, video games, music, everything has changed. And that's the point about the streaming wars. Now we have to come up with ways to try to keep people's attention, and you have all these different things that's happening at the same time now adapting to the same business model. And what's happening is some of them are lasting, some of them are becoming even greater, and some of them are failing. Do remember, Google Stadia on the video game side of the streaming wars did exist. Amazon also had a game streaming service too. Nobody talks about those. It's a prime example. But Amazon Prime, but YouTube and YouTube TV, you see what I mean? So the streaming wars is just an entirely different animal, and I just want people to be a little bit more aware out there about what's going on with how they're trying to shape media and how we consume it, which some could say, is that really a bad thing, AJ? I don't really think that's a bad thing, but I really do think that we should just be a little bit more aware, because as you can see, our attention spans are getting shorter. It's really starting to cause, I feel like it's starting to cause developmental issues in adults and in children, the more we just go this way of short attention span based attention economy, and it's just not healthy. But back to the point at hand, what does this mean for the streaming wars? And also, what does this mean for sites like Stream East? If you guys haven't heard, and I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the pod when I had brought up both topic lists, Stream East has gotten taken down. Apparently, Stream East was taken down by government officials in Egypt. There was 2 men that they said that they caught in Egypt that were running Stream East. Now, I'm not surprised, right? And when I say I'm not surprised, I'm not trying to mean it in a bad or a stereotypical way. I'm more so trying to understand. My bad, guys. If you're watching, I'm trying to adjust myself so I could be a little bit more comfortable. It's really more so the fact that, why are you surprised that it was someone in another country that was running Stream East? That's kind of common sense. why would you think that there was somebody in another, like in America, running? That's not like surprising to me at all. It's not surprising to me at all, and I just want to know what this means for the future of media consumption, because eventually the way that they have these services and stuff, and Stream East is a reminder of that, piracy will always exist. It's always existed with music, it's existed with movies, it's existed with video games. In the past, a little less with video games, but now a little more. You see, the streaming wars is going to end up doing one or two things: either leading people back to pirating stuff because these companies are charging too much to have us consume their material, or the companies work out a way to create a profitable business model that is sustainable for the consumer and also for their margins. Two things have to exist here. Two requirements. That's it. Consumers satisfied, companies satisfied with their margins. But it also speaks to the cutting of media in spending different places. You can tell what's going on with the music industry, how they're definitely cutting back. They've been rearranging labels, and I'm talking about big labels and stuff, like people who run things like at Warner or something. You got Universal making changes here, making deals here, licensing deals here. It's just a lot. It's just an entire change in landscape. And in the business segment of this, I just want to clarify that the streaming wars is definitely going to be a common thing that I'm going to refer to and that I'm going to keep talking about until we get to that point of, okay, people are pirating this shit. And I want this to be known that I'm saying this. So I'm calling it out right now. One of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to satisfy us with how much they charge us and the content that they're creating, because that's another component that people are forgetting too. A lot of these services are creating their own content. They don't want to pay licensing fees to too many fucking IPs. They'd rather create their own. Create their own and have you watch it. That's for them is better for them because I'm sorry guys, they try to control the margins better, which they control the margins better. Obviously, what's the point of a company, especially a publicly traded one, is to make money and consistently make more money than you did the last year. Guys, buckle up. Buckle up, because you're going to have to pay for many different streaming services that you probably don't want to pay for, just so you can catch the UFC, the NFL, the NBA, and WWE if you watch it. Also, I'm not even talking about hockey, NASCAR, or tennis, or soccer, or football, whatever you refer to it as. I just think that's genuinely insane, and I think that we can do better. I think my timer is right behind it. Okay, I think I've been going 18 minutes with this. So that's pretty good, actually. That's pretty chunky. So there's a lot to go over, but it's a lot to go over, too. I had a topic about Sha'Carri Richardson and her boyfriend, but I don't really want to give a fuck about that shit, to be honest. Just a quick really flash about that. It's just wild that she was caught on camera whooping his ass. Now, I'm not saying that she was only whooping his ass. Maybe there's something going on behind closed doors where they both getting a little bit too toxic for each other and putting their hands and pushing and shoving or whatever. That's not my business to speak on. But what I can speak on is what she did in public, which is wild that she was on camera, and then when you saw the police cam, she's saying, "Wow, why are you arresting me and he's the man?" What the fuck does that mean? That's all I just have to say. I really don't want to start gender wars right now. That's for grinding my gears segment. Let's talk about Drake and UMG. Now, I don't want to take up too much time on this because time has passed, and I really just feel like something else is going to happen to where I got to come back and update y'all. I just think that this shit is wild. So let's just go ahead and get started with this one. Move this over. Okay. The first thing is Drake's legal team. We're going to call them OVO Legal. OVO Legal in newer recent updates, and this was around this is somewhere time in August. I think early August, maybe middle of August, but OVO Legal basically got the authorization to serve a subpoena to Kojo Asoma, I think that's the name, which is basically in Kendrick's camp about the defamation case. I cannot fucking see. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Let's just put that in front of y'all, and then we're gonna read it. So down in the media segment, you see Drake's legal team, OVO Legal, got authorization to serve a subpoena to Kojo, which is basically in Kendrick's camp, about the defamation suit. OVO Legal also demands an unredacted copy of Kendrick Lamar's contract with the UMG. The next one says OVO Legal amends suit and targets the Super Bowl performance. The next one says OVO Legal demands expansion of discovery, including emails and texts from UMG CEO Lucien Grange, alleging involvement. Internal documents on UMG's historical censorship, and also any domestic violence allegation involving Kendrick, and communications about Dave Free's relationship with Kendrick's kids. Yes, you guys, this is a real fucking thing. This is a real fucking thing. Now, I know you probably saying, AJ, what the fuck? Drake and UMG again. This is some shit that's like, okay, cool, media, whatever, right? You guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. Excuse my language. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Drake. I honestly don't understand what the hell is going on. You are asking for things that have nothing to do with your point. How are you sitting here asking for legal documents of Kendrick's contract? You targeted the Super Bowl and all the sponsors and shit. You saying that Lucien Grange is involved. And then this is probably the wildest one. All of those are like understandable from like a legal sense. If you really on like putting foot to neck, that's understandable. But you want to sit here and tell me, boss, you want any domestic violence allegation involving Kendrick and all communications about Dave Free's relationship with Kendrick's kids. That is probably the bitchiest, most hoest shit that I have ever heard. Ever. What the fuck is that? What the fuck does that have to do with your defamation claim about? You want to know what's so crazy? I fuck with DJ Academics, but Academics didn't make sense, right? When he said something. He was just saying, bro, if you going to do all of this, which I agree with him on, by the way. If you going to ask for all of this, boss, why not just fucking sue Kendrick? Nigga, yes. Why not sue Kendrick? But Ack, you have to remember though, Ack. I think that's why he tried to sue UMG in the first place, because, fam, if he just came out with, oh, I'm going to sue Kendrick Lamar for defamation, it will look even worse. So it's like a proxy lawsuit, basically. Like, it's insane. It's like a proxy war in lawsuit form. And I just think that that's fucking insane. You really trying to sue Kendrick indirectly, and by doing that, you're suing UMG and then requesting all documents that you would request from Kendrick if you was to directly sue him. I just think that that's fucking insane. I just think that's fucking crazy, and I just think Drake honestly needs to find something to do. I don't know if maybe it's because the light is a little bit too bright. But this lighting is better on this camera, so we're gonna switch to this camera. I don't know what's going on with Drake. Honestly, I just think that he needs to get a fucking grip. He needs to get a grip, and he needs to understand, man. It's only one or two ways you're gonna go with this whole bot defamation. Oh, they flux numbers and try to lower my value argument, which is all of the discoveries that you're asking for is going to do one or two things. Show that A, you received the same treatment that you're claiming they're doing to Kendrick, or you prove that it's true and you lost the battle anyway. What does it change? What does it change? But as time goes on and as OVO Legal does what OVO Legal is supposed to do, which is scalpel the entire body of discovery for everything they can. And everything includes, remember guys, any domestic violence allegation involving Kendrick, as well as communications about Dave Free's relationship with Kendrick's kids. I just think that that is just the dumbest shit to do and to ask for. What does any of that have to do with your defamation lawsuit? Unless you're trying to prove that what he said wasn't defamation. Understandable. But, sir, wouldn't that make you a hypocrite then? So you're trying to prove that it's true what you said about Kendrick and beating his girl and his kids not being his. It is so easy to really disprove this claim. Kendrick Lamar and his woman, his wife, is not going to do a fucking DNA test to show you that. When you over here claiming that the multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, which has backed you for the better part of 15 years, why does Kendrick come up in that feud with them? I'm very confused. Unless it truly is that, let's just call a spade and not a ace of a diamond. You're salty that you lost that fucking rap battle. You're salty. You're salty. And you got fans claiming, and you letting them run with this narrative that Kendrick's dragging it. No. You can't say Kendrick is dragging anything. I'm a big fan of Drake. And I'm going to say this to anybody who watches this shit. The fact that you got people over here claiming that Kendrick Lamar is dragging it, when this beef, Not Like Us, is barely a year and 2 to 3 months old. Hey, Drake was talking about Meek Mill for the better part of 2 whole years after that beef was over. This is after, by the way. I don't understand what the fuck y'all are talking about. Y'all are hypocrites. It's okay. Drake lost. You can only say Kendrick is dragging this shit if he keep performing it past 2 years. But as far as I'm concerned, the nigga Kendrick got 10 more months to go. I don't know who. I honestly don't understand like who y'all really want to like sit here and like try to make it seem like a motherfucker just has to do the song and that he's dragging it and that's his only claim to fame. Whatever. That's hater talk. I'm not talking to motherfuckers who don't objectively understand music, regardless if you're a fan of one or the other, because I'm a fan of both. But I can sit here and tell you with an unbiased take, Drake lost. If he lost, he lost. Okay? You're still the golden child, the boy, got the nigga with the Midas touch. You're still him. So I'm confused on why you sitting here trying to manufacture some fake shit like you're for the people, or you're trying to expose this multi-billion-dollar corporation, or you got people over here trying to make it seem like you fucking Michael Jackson or that you Prince or some shit. You not no fucking Michael Jackson or Prince. You just a nigga that's salty that he lost a rap battle, and you indirectly trying to sue the nigga that you lost to through the multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that A, both of y'all are signed to, by the way, and you're claiming that they did something for him which lowered your value when discussing your deal. Hey, it's a good plan, but I don't think it's gonna fucking work. And the further time goes on, the more that I realize it's not going to work. So with this whole segment, right, of media, and it's another, we got some more stuff to go on, but I just wanted to really get this Drake segment out the way because it's fucking insane how a motherfucker can sit here, ask for a rap battle, goad them into the rap battle, and then when the rap battle happens, they want to claim defamation. I don't want to hear nothing about defamation. Okay, let's get back to it. I don't understand like what that has to do with anything. So we just gonna go ahead and leave that off on that. I don't want to go too much on the tangent. Uh, get fucking better. I hope that this lawsuit just goes in Drake's favor to his original claim about defamation rather than just him indirectly trying to sue Kendrick Lamar for defamation about a rap battle that he asked for. So, hey, it is what it is. We can go ahead and move on to I had a political segment, but I'm not finna get into that. I really don't want to get into that. That can be like special episodes and stuff. We can go ahead and switch to what's recently been going on with the Drewski skit. So, okay, this Drewski skit, right, is basically a skit that went fucking crazy on the internet about him basically cosplaying this stereotype of a pretty much a southern white American. Like that's the best way to put it because he it was a redneck. It was a redneck. Like I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. It was a redneck. He had sunburns and everything. He literally was a redneck by the definition. He dressed up as like a redneck, had great fucking makeup on. He looked white. It was hilarious. And basically he just had a video of just different stuff of like he was just like in the truck, went down, then screaming, "Born in the USA," singing a song and shit. Then just like, you know what? I have to, We're gonna start. I'm gonna start pulling stuff up for y'all. I really want to start doing that. So I'm gonna start adding clips and stuff. Hopefully, I can try to get in post. We can edit it in, get it in post. But that shit is fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And in the comments, you got certain individuals. It's like, hey, if the shoe was on the other foot, people would be in an uproar. Okay. Let's play this game, right? So basically, people are wanting to participate in blackface and then try to hide it under the guise of comedy. Basically, because somebody made an honest, fucking hilarious rendition of a white Southern typical white redneck American patriot, whatever you want to call it. This is how I feel. This is how I view this, right? Nothing in your right mind if you are not a racist by like, and I'm not trying to say, oh, you're not like actively tuning your racism. You're naturally not biased and racist. when you sit here and say, hey, why can't I participate in something that has historically been used to mischaracterize, dehumanize, and influence bad laws upon a certain group of individuals for a better part of 60 years? Okay. How are you going to compare a comedy skit of what people are, because I'm not going to say, oh, only white people are saying that, because it's not even about fucking race at this point, because you got white people in the comments saying, hey, this shit is hilarious. I don't think that blackface is hilarious, though, and that we should use this as an excuse to participate in blackface, which those people, one second, those people are common sense individuals, but I forget it's the internet. Common sense doesn't fucking exist. And in these responses that I'm seeing under these comments, or that you will see under these in the comments, you will just see different people saying, "Oh, if I was to do this or dress up like this, then you guys would call me racist and that." But you got also people saying, "Well, if I was to do it, it's not racist. Ha ha ha. It's comedy. Stop being sensitive, etc." Okay, I'm a firm believer of that camp, right? Stop being sensitive. I'm in that camp, honestly. A lot of people are sensitive about things to not be sensitive about. However, you cannot sit here and try to compare a comedy skit of a stereotype to a historical stereotype that has been used longer than the technology we watching it on fucking existed. A stereotype that not only was used alongside propaganda to enforce racism in a system that needed all poor people to slave away in labor. It's propaganda. Blackface is propaganda. That's what it is. I'm not here to complain about blackface, the history of it, none of that shit. I'm here to distinguish comedy from racist propaganda, because recently in America, in media, this whole black fatigue thing is starting to really characterize itself into something that honestly don't make no fucking sense. I'm tired of this, racism, that. I'm tired of closet racists. I'm tired of plausible racists, which are the people that we talking about, because you cannot sit here and say, hey, okay, hey, this guy did this as a white person, so I'm going to use that as an excuse to do blackface. Hey, dog, no, that's not how this works. And then you got people saying, oh, well, Robert Downey Jr. had did it in fucking Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr. had did it in Tropic Thunder. Well, Robert Downey Jr. did a great fucking job at it. Do you want to know why? Because it was not used to demean people. And the entire concept of him doing that was that Hollywood does that. That's the point. That was the whole point of Kirk Lazarus. And it's pissing me off because I'm only 20 fucking 7. And I know how it's people that's older replying to this shit, having the feelings about it. Yo, you guys have been with Tropic Thunder longer than I have. Do you really want to fucking sit here and tell me Kirk Lazarus is the best example you can come up with to justify blackface off of a fucking skit? I'm not going to put all white people in a bucket when I say this. But the white people who are racist, to all of the racists in general, who agree with that statement, you are what I call a plausible racist. I don't even think that that's really an acceptable like term in like in a dictionary, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the context understanding of one thing and the understanding of another and put it together. Hopefully people understand what I mean when I say that. Yeah, it may not be a word, what the fuck ever. I understand that. You are what I call a plausible racist, which means, or subliminal racist is a more direct way to explain it. But I'm going to call you a plausible racist because you're going to use plausible deniability to excuse your racism. And comedy is the guise of the plausible deniability that you're going to use to disguise your racism. It's okay. We get it. If you want to dress up in blackface, just fucking do it. You don't need a black comedian to do that in a skit for comedy to pull off racist tropes that have been used to oppress people. And I hate even talking about this race shit. I honestly do. I think it's a waste of fucking time. And I don't mean that it's a waste of time as in, oh, it doesn't exist. I think it's a waste of time because it's fucking pointless to be racist in the year where there are people, the people who are racist literally don't live no different than the people they claim they're superior than. So I'm not about to sit here and try to make it and complain about anything. Like, I'm not sitting here doing that. Yes, there are biases that exist. Biases will always happen amongst humans. Racial bias would exist. Racial prejudice definitely exists. Prejudice is a true thing. And I'm not saying that all people are racist. I'm just saying that a good amount of humans are prejudiced, and it's based off race, it's based off age, it's based off gender. Trust me. So we're not here to complain about racism or the fact that racism exists. No, I'm just here to call out a plausible racist when I see one. Don't use a fucking skit as an excuse to try to do blackface and then use fucking Kirk Lazarus from fucking Tropic Thunder out of all fucking examples that you could have used to say, hey, it's cool if I was to do blackface in the name of comedy. No, you fucking dumbass. That was the whole point of Kirk Lazarus in the first place, is because Hollywood has done that in the fucking past instead of casting who they needed to. That's the entire point of Kirk Lazarus. It was one of the points that they were trying to establish, that Ben Stiller was trying to establish. So I don't fucking understand what y'all mean when y'all keep using Robert Downey Jr. as an example. It just goes to show you exactly how people will be racist if given an objective, plausible reason. Trust me. And in this case, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be comedy. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic at hand. But that's me putting the Drewski thing to rest. I talked about Drake's legal team already. Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard caught with a $28 million no-show endorsement, and is Young Thug a rat? Holy shit. I think we can get this done. We only got like 18 minutes left. So let's try to get this done in under 18 minutes. But I really think I can get this done in under 10 because it's only two things I want to talk about. Drewski, Drake, Young Thug's a rat, etc. We're going to be back on track with topics again. I'm sorry. But starting off, is Young Thug a rat? So if you have not been caught up, there have been a lot of Young Thug's jail recordings being leaked to the internet. He's talking about different people. He's talking about different things. Another thing had leaked prior to all of this about an interrogation, when he was in an interrogation room, basically talking about something. I honestly didn't listen to it. I'm sorry, guys. 1 sec. Let me try to fix this microphone because, yeah. There it is. Beautifully. So the honest truth is, hey, right? Young Thug basically has been going through the fucking gutter. And when I say going through the gutter, I mean that as in reputation-wise, because ever since he's come home, he's been saying, hey, I was solid. You a rat, you a rat, you a rat. Rat this, rat that, rat. You bit the cheese, you bit the cheese. You got caught in the rat trap. You went ahead and got the fucking cheese. You went ahead and did something else, and you fucking told. But it's so ironic because Thug is the motherfucker who is just talking about everything, everybody, chatty fucking patty, right? Okay. Is Young Thug a rat? I'm going to sit here. I haven't really listened to everything, but this is just my take from the Young Thug as being a rat thing. You can't go to jail, right? Come out of jail, talk shit about people who did technically not rat on you. You can say that he ratted, but the stipulations is funny because they never used anything that Gunna said to convict you. Ironically enough, you also gave information to law enforcement that was not used to prosecute nobody that you knew in the case. Did you rat? Did you rat, Thug? That's the question. And this is a prime example, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of sometimes it's best to shut the fuck up. When you know that you are Icarus and you know you're flying too close to a sun, you don't want to get your wings burned. Shut the fuck up. That's all Young Thug had to do. He had to come home, enjoy the money, drop music, shut the fuck up. But guess what? Now you want to take on this persona of, oh, tough guy, street nigga, I'm not a rat, etc. Hey, yo, I don't know if you niggas done figured it out by now, but the motherfucking streets is dead. The streets has been dead for a long time. The code of the streets has been a fucking joke. Niggas have been telling and backdooring they fucking friends for fucking nothing over shit that they willingly participated in. The streets have been dead for a while. And you keep peddling this bullshit ideology about rats and snitches. Now, don't get me wrong now. I don't like people that rat neither. I don't like people who really participated willingly in something, and when it's time to face the consequences of your actions, you fold on, you tell. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's a rat to me because you use deception. You can't do that. Thug, you can't sit here and say anything. It's best to shut the fuck up, drop the music, man, enjoy your woman, enjoy your money, and continue to go on, man. Enjoy the money that Gunna's bringing in from dropping these motherfucking albums and leave it at that. Don't sit here and call him a rat and keep talking about it. It's over. It's done. All right? Give it up, son. Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard. We gonna actually end it on this. Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard. So, this really doesn't take a lot of talking about to get into because I'm not really the type to drag topics, but I guess I can update you in like a minute or two. So basically, Steve Ballmer was basically caught with this company I think called Aspiration, where he was kind of paying Kawhi Leonard $28 million over the course of 7 years in order to basically, and it counted as an endorsement, but also the allegation is that Steve Ballmer was trying to evade the salary cap tax, which basically exists. And honestly, I'm not surprised whether he did it on purpose or not. Honestly, this is America, right? And when people understand like the real power of America, is that it's the most litigious country on planet Earth. And people will find loopholes that only a pinpoint can get through, a pinball point can get through in order to pull something off. That's just how it works. Like, that's how this country has worked since the birth. So, whether Steve Ballmer is correct or not, honestly, I don't have nothing to say. People find ways to not pay taxes all the time. This is no different from any other rich individual coming up with an LLC or a way to circumvent taxes. Whether he's guilty of it or not, I have no idea. But if he is guilty of it, I'm absolutely not surprised. So with that being said, you guys, we're going to go ahead and call it one. I was going to do Who Grinds My Gears, but we're going to go ahead and save that for the next one because I really didn't get like a lot like a weekly stuff. What Grinds My Gears is supposed to be like a different segment, but we going to wait till next time for that. Don't worry about it, y'all. We good. We Gucci. We got what we needed out of today. Be good. Tell somebody you love them. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm finna go eat. I'm finna chill. I'm finna relax. And y'all be easy and stay tuned. Peace.